Yeah, I love that sound. Um, I love that sound so much that I'm going to record this video instead of the one that I had planned, which was part of the Practice Life series, right, where I talk about meditation. I talk about the things that I am thinking about, the realizations that I am realizing, the problems that I am probleming as I sit on the cushion, as I meditate, as I practice. That's a whole series on the channel. But this came in the mail. This is the Korg Volca FM2, which had been on pre-order over the summer. I purchased it from Detroit Modular, the fine purveyor of synthesizers. They've probably taken a decent percentage of my paycheck over the last 3 to 5 years. And I wanted to pick this up. It's an FM synthesizer, frequency modulation synthesizer. And I'm not going to talk about the box itself. There's a billion reviews on why this is so awesome, or why people hate it. There's people who hate the Volcas. I love them, although this is the first one that I've purchased. But I wanted to talk instead about why I am so excited to have this tiny little synthesizer. When I was a student in college, this was a long time ago now, this was in the late 80s, between 85 and 89, in the music department there was a Yamaha Dx7 synthesizer in the music studio, and nobody really knew how to use it. It didn't have a manual, and we did not have the internet. And so as part of the kind of ongoing composition class that I was taking, I would spend hours at a time sitting simply randomly hitting buttons on the Dx7 interface, and then trying to figure out how to remember the next day what I had done. And so what I was doing was learning the algorithms of the oscillators. Now, the FM2 comes with this, right? Which a cheat sheet that would have been very useful back in 1987, 89, or whenever it was, explaining how the different patches, the different algorithms map the different oscillators and what the parameters will affect. That at its core is FM synthesis. I see some talk about how FM synthesis is a bit intimidating, but if you've approached it from an entirely random and intuitive fashion to start with, it's really just another way of making sounds. And FM synthesizers have a kind of characteristic sort of metal or metallic or bell-like tone, and I also think it reminds me very much of early Doctor Who soundtracks, like sounds that come from the earlier part of electronic music, particularly from maybe the BBC Radiophonic Workshop. I just think what someone like Dudley Simpson, who's on top of my mind right now because he wrote the music for Blake 7, which was a show I loved as a young boy, and I mean like 9, 10, 11. But I never saw the end of it. It had 4 seasons, and I only saw the first one. And then my family left the United Kingdom and moved to America, and I just never saw the rest of it. But I've realized that now on the Amazon Prime video piece, all of Blake's 7 is there, so I've started watching it again. And they have the same style of it just makes me think what someone like Dudley Simpson would have done with this device that cost less than $200. And look, maybe constraints are a great thing. So I bought this knowing that it would remind me of those first days of really thinking about composition. So maybe a bit late to the game. I was in my late teens when I first thought about composing. And the Dx7 was a thing I can point to that said, I want to do this. Because those hours spent poking around on the front panel and hearing the different effects, or the hearing the affect of the different changes, was mesmerizing and exciting. So I'm fortunate in that sense that I can point to one thing in particular that really triggered the interest that was nascent within me. I'm very lucky that happened. Very lucky to have been under the guidance of Bill Matthews, who was the composition professor at Bates back then. And now as I'm much older and looking back on a life where I haven't really written the music that I thought I would have, particularly if you had asked the 19-year-old me who was poking around on the Dx7 what I would have done by the time I was 54, as I am today, or as I am now. I would have done a lot more. But I can look ahead and I can return to that initial impetus, which is this little box here. I have a nice selection of Eurorack modules over here which inspire me in a way that is religious and spiritual, and you've seen, if you've followed this channel, you've seen me work on that. I've not been active on Eurorack lately. I've been spending a lot more time writing piano music. Actually, I'm working on what I think is going to be a sonata, and I mean like a big romantic narrative form sonata. And I want to finish that this summer. I want to finish that before, let's say, the end of September, and then put it on a house concert through the fall. But now I have this, and there's so many things I want to do with it. Like, I kind of want to record myself improvising, perhaps layer over a couple of things. I want to write out a notated piece for this synthesizer. I bought it because I thought that I might use it in the ensemble for the opera that I've been trying to write for a few years, right? So the instrumentation for that opera is piano, string quartet, quite a lot of percussion, including things like glockenspiel, tubular bells, a lot of bell sounds, the crotales, the pitched metallic stuff. And I thought it'd be nice if the pianist had this. And these are readily available, and programmable, and any patches that I compose could be easily available. So that's when I first bought it. I thought, I'm going to include this in the ensemble for the opera, and I probably will still. But right now, I'm just. I also have it in mind to do kind of a Bach synthesizer project, right? And maybe clear this up a little bit. So these are the short preludes, and I think I want to do maybe the English suites or something like that. I love that sound. Right. Love it. What about this? So good, right? And it evaporates time, and I feel like I'm 19 and I've got the whole world at my fingertips. So, thank you for listening through that with me, and I'm sure you're going to hear more from this most wonderful little device as I include it in projects and as I just noodle away. Subscribe, like, share, do all that stuff. Questions, put them in the comments, and I will talk to you again soon. Keep your wits about you.